The CEC decision regarding the suspension of mandates for an MP from each of the PDIU and SMI parties has been delayed until January 5th to allow more information to be submitted. All businesses are required to register for tax assessment by March 31st, 2018, although only businesses with revenue exceeding 2 million lek will be required to pay the VAT. 4 Kosovar MPs have received jail sentences that have been wholly suspended for 2 years for throwing tear gas in the Kosovar Assembly Hall. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 3rd of January 2018. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the return of the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. The Central Election Commission postponed the decision on the prosecution's request for the termination of mandates for an MP from each of the PDIU and SMI parties. The Socialist Movement for Integration and the Socialist Party united their votes to postpone decision-making, with the Democratic Party voting against. The Central Election Commission asked that the prosecutor's office make available the entire case that they have prepared regarding the 2 MPs, considering the request, as it has currently been lodged, as being incomplete in its information. The accused SMI MP, Gledion Rehovica, attended the meeting, declaring that he was neither prosecuted nor even investigated for any criminal offence in the Republic of Italy, although he admitted he was questioned by police at one time. "No order or any other measure has been taken against me in Italy," said the SMI MP Rehovica. Meanwhile, the accused MP from the PDIU was not present, instead being defended by his lawyer, Theodori Solaku. The Chief Prosecutor, Arta Marcu, must certify all the evidence for the PDIU MP, said the lawyer Solaku. The Central Election Commission postponed the decision regarding the MP's mandates until January 5th in order to allow more information to be submitted regarding the issue. January 5th is also the deadline for the prosecution office to submit the requested data they have held regarding the case. In relation to the case raised by the prosecution regarding the mayor of Pogradec, Eduard Capri, and his lack of submission of data for the decriminalisation law, the Central Election Commission acted in a similar manner. They again postponed their decision regarding the mayor Capri until January 5th, with the deadline for the prosecution office to submit the additional data requested by the CEC being the same day. Emigrants living and working in Greece are the first to leave after spending the New Year's holidays with their families in Albania. Since the afternoon of Tuesday, the high flux began near the border crossing points of Kapshtica and in the Korça region and Kakavia in the Gjirokastra region. At Kakavia, the number of vehicles and pedestrians being recorded for crossing the border point has continued to rise hour after hour. In the last 24 hours, according to the Border Police, 4,522 Albanian citizens and 647 foreign citizens have exited Albania to Greece, with 1,350 vehicles being used to cross at the border point of Kakavia. The Albanian side is working with 4 open immigration counters, while the Greek side is functioning with 3, minimising the wait at border queues. 1,844 Albanian citizens have been registered in the past 24 hours as having entered Albania from Greece at the same border point. The rush to exit the country started from the border crossing point of Kapshtica in Korça, where during Tuesday, 2,462 Albanian citizens left the country, even creating queues in the early hours of the afternoon. A significant number of Albanian and foreign citizens entered Albania in just the last few days of the year and are now expected to start returning to the countries where they live and work. Meanwhile, the flux of departures from the port of Durrës is expected to begin. The Border and Migration Directorate say that it has taken all measures to manage the situation. 4 MPs from the political party Vetëvendosja in Kosovo were found guilty by the court of Pristina today of throwing tear gas into the Parliamentary Assembly during a plenary session in October 2015. The MP, Albin Kurti, was sentenced to 1 year and 6 months imprisonment due to his involvement in the throwing of tear gas, as well as for the detention of an official during the performance of his duty. For the MP, Albania Hagiu, a sentence of 1 year and 3 months imprisonment was imposed based on the applicable weight of the same charges. Meanwhile, Donika Kadai Buyupi was sentenced to 1 year and 6 months and Faton Topali with 1 year imprisonment. However, all the aforementioned Kosovar MPs were provided with some level of leniency as their sentences were suspended for a period of 2 years. This means that none of the MPs will actually perform their punishment, provided that over the next 2 years no further criminal offences are carried out by the Vetvendosia MPs. Media in Kosovo reported that the decision regarding the Vetvendosia MPs was announced in their absence, as none of the accused were present at today's session for the announcement of the decision. According to the accusations by the Department for Serious Crimes in the Basic Prosecution of Pristina, during the month of October 2015, MPs of the Vetvendosia party hindered the work of the legislature by using tear gas in the Assembly Hall. The attacks were made by the Vetvendosia's representatives on the grounds that their opinions contravened with the agreement that Serbia and Montenegro held regarding Kosovo's demarcation with its neighbours. From the 1st of April 2018, all businesses with controlled revenue of over 2 million lek will be included in the value-added tax scheme. On the official website of the Directorate of Taxation, a declaration has been issued that all businesses, despite their current revenues, must be registered and assessed for the tax liability of VAT. However, businesses will not be required to pay any VAT until their revenues reach the 2 million lek threshold. According to the announcement, any taxpayer registered for VAT should communicate with the authorised company who supplied their fiscal device to ensure the changes in the rate of taxation of VAT, which comes into effect March 31, 2018, are updated to their device. All registered taxpayers must also set up facilities by the aforementioned date to be able to issue full tax invoices with itemised VAT as a requirement for all sales to the value of 40,000 lek or more. It is the task of taxpayers to ensure details listed regarding sales and inventory of remaining stock of taxable items are kept accordingly and specifies both quantity and value. The Taxation Office informs that this inventory must be submitted to the Regional Directorate before the 31st of March 2018. Goods included in inventory lists should be justified with a VAT tax invoice, but must have been purchased less than 12 months prior from the date the VAT registration was made. The Tax Administration has made a hotline available free of charge to help those who have uncertainty over this scheme, as well as hosting some specific seminars to educate entrepreneurs further through live training. Serbia continues to wait for information from Croatia regarding the extradition of the Albanian football fanatic Ismail Marina. Marina was arrested on the charge of inciting violence after he flew a drone bearing imagery that was likely to cause disruption over the stadium during an already controversial matchup between Serbia and Albania in November 2014. The Serbian Justice Minister, Nela Kuburovic, confirmed that they are still awaiting further information from Croatia during an interview with the Tanjug news agency. According to Kuburovic, there is still no indication when their Croatian counterparts will make the decision. Although there is no deadline under which the Ministry of Justice must act following the decision on conditions for extradition, Kuburovic expressed confidence that this will happen within a year of the person being received in jail and awaiting extradition. Ismail Marina, known as Balisti, has been held captive in Dubrovnik since June 2017. He was arrested by authorities after a warrant for his arrest was issued by Serbia. According to Serbia, the drone Balisti was controlling depicting a flag of Greater Albania back in November 2014 constitutes a criminally racial offence, as well as the spread of religious and national hatred. The Marina Bridge at the Kukas Marine axis of the National Road has become a black spot in regards to road accidents. Due to the high number of accidents at this particular spot, the metal defenders installed to protect pedestrians have become damaged and for over 6 months not replaced, putting pedestrians who cross at the bridge at significant risk. For this, village residents demand immediate intervention from the company that receives the road concession for maintenance of this infrastructure. According to them, their lives are being endangered by the lack of safety measures at the dangerous spot, especially the life of school students who attend the educational institution located just a few metres away from the bridge. Meanwhile, the return of Kosovar immigrants towards their workplaces in the EU and the West has started at the custom point of Marina. This year, 2,500 Kosovar immigrants entered Albania to spend the year-end holidays near their families, and now it has come time to leave again. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.